What is going on, everybody? Well, I appreciate you guys coming back to the channel and checking us out. The thumbnail is a little bit different. It was in the shop, but I went to go pull this thing out to do some testing and start the video, and it was about locked up. Follow along tonight, and we're going to talk about this very clean 2003 Excursion with 200,000 miles. All right, guys, let's go. All right, everybody, thanks so much for coming back and checking us out. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe. What a sort of glorious day. We got some storms coming here in southeastern Michigan, but the lighting out here for this 2003 Excursion makes it look really nice. And as you can see, we are chooching awful. It stinks, and it is got a heavy fuel knock coming from the passenger side of the engine. Now this gentleman has already went through and put a coolant filter on it, has did some upgraded intercooler pipes with the Banks products, got the Banks air filters, got the Banks intercooler in here. Looks like he has ARPs in there. If it would focus, there it is, got some ARPs right there. So the motor's been out at least, or the cylinder heads have at least been off. But come inside, let's see what we have going on with IDS and cylinder number three's ability to make the power it needs. Now, when we have the graph going down like this, that is an indicative sign of a power loss. This is a misfire. When we have a increasing up graph like you're seeing here for 3, that means there's too much in the cylinder, i.e. fuel. That is unburned hydrocarbons, that is unburned fuel, and that is what I think locked up the cylinder. But what I was able to do using the starter cable over here by the battery, I was able to bump the engine over without the key on, get the engine to make clean revolutions, and then had an assistant turn the key on while I was cranking, and then it immediately fired up. So, oh my goodness, man, that is not what I wanted. So realistically, the only way for this to really happen on a 6.0 is it's going to be injector time, unless there's something drastically wrong with the cylinder. But how the vehicle is, I'm not going to be able to run a relative compression test. Oh my gosh, is that soot stuff flying in? Yeah. Oh my gosh, I got soot, particulate matter flying all over the place. Oh my gosh. I'm like, why is all this black stuff on my phone? It's all over my face. Holy crap. All right, well, let me get this thing into the shop. I think we're gonna have to do a number 3 injector. I gotta get some prices together and let the customer know our diagnostics, but this thing is smelling nasty. Well, we're in the shop and I have the fan on. It's going to be a hot one, but the customer did wind up okay in the job. We're going to have to go for the number 3 fuel injector. Kind of tight in there being against the heater case, but we're going to do a little work we've done in the past. One of the last videos I think I did at the institution was actually a fuel injector. No, was it? No, it was a glow plug, but it was on that side. So if you guys remember on the 6 liters or on the internationals, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're 1, 2, 3. We're the second one back on the passenger side. I'm gonna get suited and booted, get my light on, and then I'm gonna start tearing into this truck. And I have the injector. They said it's gonna be like an hour and a half, he said just call it 2 hours. So hopefully I can have this injector out and be able to give them the core so I don't have to waste my time going across town to deliver the core. So here we go. If you guys aren't familiar with the charge air cooler tubes, we have a connection down here and a connection over here to get this. I haven't really worked with the Banks pipes on the 6.0s, but it looks like it's pretty rigid. All right, 11 millis. It's been a minute. Haven't done a 6.0 injector and a grip. Hopefully these Banks pipes aren't too bad to do. They look pretty taut. That one's gonna have to come on with the pipe. All right, this lower one, let's see if I can sneak this out. Having these coolant filters on here, I mean, I understand what they're doing, but it just makes a real pain in the butt to get stuff out at times. Search and rescue. Try to wiggle this pipe off the intercooler. There we go. See if I can wiggle this thing out. She's pretty. Oh, let's see here. Wow, what a orchestrated piece of equipment. This AC line is not forgiving. Ah, here we go. Got it. Got it. Let's take the dimple out of the pipe. There we go. All right. We have to take, man, this thing is still piping hot. Jiminy cricks. Map sensor right there, the port. And additionally, I want a little more room because this port on the sensor can be very difficult. Where's the nut? Right there. Somebody's already taken this off, probably who did the engine or the heads. Maybe they didn't take the body off, I don't know. But I don't want to break this. This plastic can be super brittle right here on this hose, so I get the whole thing out of the way. I ain't messing with it. So the next thing, damn, that's hot. Oof. Looks like we have some rear heater and AC lines. Oh man. All right, we're gonna need to get that out of the way, and this coolant line right here that houses this rigmarole. So I've already loosened these clamps right here. I got the coolant draining on for like the last 5 minutes or so. Just enough to get these lines off. I'm not gonna drain all the coolant out, but I wanna take this section out of me way. See if it's broken free. I'm sure a little coolant's gonna come out. The thing is piping hot. All right, we'll take that end off. Ouch, damn, that's hot. I'm gonna take this line, this coolant line, and I'm gonna try to go something like this. Like that. And there's a connection that's going back to the rear, so I guess let me get a zip tie. I'm gonna zip tie that. Just so it's out of the way. Go to the other end of my zip tie. Here we go. Nice. Nope. I don't want it overhanging the valve cover when I'm in here working. Okay, so let's take this one off. Well, let's first take the oil fill off, because that's going to be tremendously in our way. Something like this. If you guys don't know, I've covered it before. Diesel Tech Ron showed us that. I think we're actually going to have to do that, because whoever decided that this did need an O-ring and that you're supposed to put silicone there, come on, people. I'm going to show you a Diesel Tech Ron hack so we can put a O-ring on this so it's supposed to be how it is supposed to be. But that's now going to allow us to take our coolant, other line off, and now I can go close the petcock. We're getting clearer and clearer. Here's number 3 right here. Number 3 coming at you. Make sure to check out the merch store and get yourself a PTT screwdriver or a PTT shirt that is the right size for you or the right tool for the job. Okay, special tool for fuel injector connector removal out of the cylinder head. Okay, push the connector through, so we don't need that anymore. What we will need is a bunch of 10 millis, because we have 10 millis all over the place. I'm gonna get this glow plug module out the way. But before, let's be mindful. I'm not about to go on a search and rescue. Things weren't really that tight. Okay. And then we're gonna have one. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to show you this one. Oh, maybe. Well, I'm already finding workmanship errors right now. This nut is supposed to go on the trans dipstick tube. And where did that go? Oh, I see it. I see it. Search and rescue right here, right behind the shock tower. If anybody knows anything about 6.0s, you know this is the transmission dipstick tube nut, and this is the bracket nut. Somebody disconfoctuated and put the wrong nut in the wrong place. But once you get those fasteners off, you'll be able to look at your glow plug control module, flop off the valve cover, and we'll go ahead and take this off the battery. And if you guys look, 3 different nuts. Look at that nut compared to this nut, compared to this nut. Learn your nuts, guys. Of all people, you should know your nuts. All right, get this out the way. In fact, I'll probably be able to disconnect the glow plug harness, leave that downstairs, and then I'm gonna take this glow plug control module and I'm gonna go something like that. Now look how much more room we got. Not too bad, not too bad. All right, if we're getting the dipstick tube, we are gonna have to do something like this. And we need to come down like this. Look at that, the small nut doesn't even have a flange on it. Can't even, okay, ooh, they didn't even put the bolt loose, or the bolt's not even tight. Look at that, I'm pulling the valve cover bolt out. Oh, there goes the nut. What in the malarkey hell? Who worked on this thing? Straight up, man. Am I gonna drop it? Or can I get it out? All right, we're fingering. We're fingering. I got it. All right, so now my trick to leaving this here is I will take this dipstick tube and kind of just leave it right here. Sometimes it comes out of the trans, sometimes it does not. These bolts only go in a certain way. Pay attention where you're taking the studs out versus the actual bolts. All right. Okay, valve cover time. We have 12 millis, and I grabbed a 13 out of habit. 12 millis all the way around. I'm starting to perspire, which is okay. Oh, it's even tight. It's a Diesel Tech Run tool combo, and they got the wrong bolts in the wrong spot. At least what you could have did was, I don't know, make a picture or something. I have one hiding right here, and usually these lines are not there. So I don't know if I'm gonna have to do a wrenchy wrench or add a daddy long neck to take this back bolt out, but I'm gonna try a 12 mil quarter drive and see if that is gonna be enough for me. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. And I got it. At least they put the right one in that location. But quarter drive, long neck, chrome swivel coming at you. Okay, last two bolts are all by hand. And these ones kind of suck. You need a flex head. Come over here. You need a flex head 12 milli right here. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. You're gonna go and do something like this. There's a bolt. Oh, that's a head bolt. There it is, valve cover bolt right here. I got it. Super tight. That's why you gotta take this bracket off and the dipstick tube, because now you're fishing your hand down here. I'm going like this with my left hand and trying to get the bolt out. It can be a real pain, especially if you don't have the correct tools. And I just realized I'm gonna have to charge my light. And then sometimes the rubber gasket will get stuck to the valve cover and you have to fight twisting the bolt out because of the rubber's stickiness. Good thing we got this fan on. Can't remember the last time we've done an excursion with a 6.0, let alone rear AC and an injector on the passenger side. Oh, come on, baby. Definitely a long sleeve job. I ain't wearing short sleeves to do this one. Oh my gosh, come on. My right hand against the valve cover is freaking hot. Come on, baby. Is this thing out or what? I think I'm fighting the rubber. Okay, finally got the last bolt out all the way in the back. I need to take a break. My fingers are hurting. Valve cover is loose. Now this should slide off. These lines are really inhibiting my travels. Oh, there we go. All right, valve cover coming off. Here's my Kleenex. Let's get the gasket out of here before we mess that up, which, by the way, if you guys didn't know, these are reusable gaskets. There's the number 3 injector right there. Right? I wish there was a good spot to put this, because there's really not. Except right there. Number 3. There you are, baby. Probably going to be dripping off the tip when we pull it out. Let's get this manifold off and get the injector out. Okay, if you guys need a special tool, this is OTC tool 303755, and we need to use that to get this quick disconnected, and I kind of do something like this and pop it out, and then I'll take the line, we'll pry, let it sit like that, and then we have a whole bunch of 8 millis around the perimeter of this oil log. Okay, 8 millis. These are going to be oily, so try to set the oily stuff on a courtesy towel. One right here. The older trucks, or I should say the newer 6.0s, these bolts, and they were just a little bit longer than these. All the way in the back. 2 in the back. Careful. Make sure you don't dink your elbow as you're taking something out. Unfortunately, if you have to do one injector, you gotta take this rail off. Sucks. Can we sneak this out? Ooh, could we? Could we? Usually that's a little tiny ratcheting tool, and we got it with a daddy long neck. Where's the other one? Ooh, gosh, that log is hot. Okay, I'm on it. No bolt in the socket end, and that's it. Okay, so now that log is ready to come off. However, there's a good probably quart of oil in here, so be careful. All right, take this line all the way out, and I kind of just do something like that. Sits right on that little ridge. Okay, loggy coming off. Oh man, mama, that is hot. Come on, baby. Okay, immediately tip it upside down.
Mama.
Oh my gosh, it's so thin too. Sanitary napkin. All right. We're gonna just do something like this. I don't want to drain all the oil out of this, but we'll kind of do something like that. This is it, number 3 injector. We're gonna do a long custom made T40. I'm going in. Man, I really don't like this coolant filter. It is really inhibiting my ability. All right, here we go. I bet you this fucker's gonna be just soaked. And it's gonna be hot. Doing it for the kids. Look at that. Look at how wet that injector is. Look at that. Just completely drenched. That should be dry, sooty, not wet and fuely. Smells like diesel. Sometimes I'd be thinking diesel smells like gasoline sometimes. That's it right there. That's your 6.0 fuel injector. Oof. All right, let's get the new one. We just got done draining all the oil, and I will tell you, 15 quarts fits in here. We had to double down and get another container because it had that much fuel in the crankcase just from going past the rings and just being in the engine where fuel wasn't really supposed to be, besides being burned. So we're just waiting on the part. Everything is prepped and ready to go back in. Oil is changed. I guess I could dump the oil in. Almost done with our drum of oil, and then injector time it will be. So the Diesel Tech Ron hack, after you get your junk fuel injectors out, you're gonna rob this black O-ring, and this black O-ring is now, this will be the O-ring for your oil fill to the valve cover. So no more silicone, now has a new O-ring. Here we are, new fuel injector, ready to go in and lubed. Yeah, that's pretty much about it. Brand new. 3 Charlie, 3 Zebra, 9 Eddie 527 ARM remanufactured. So this is not a brand new, it's a brand new remanufactured component. So yeah. Here we are, fuel injector going in. I'm gonna do this with the left hand. Let me get my cart set up right about there. Let me get my pad right about here, and I think this position feels about good. The hole's right here. I have my pointer finger. See, I'm holding it with the bolt. I'm just gonna drop it into its position, and I believe it's there. Let's start this by hand. Let me get a couple. You can already see the injector going down, so we know we got it. Rest of the way, commencing. Now this is 24 footies. You guys are probably wondering how we're gonna do that. 24 footies coming at you. If I can get some swinging room here. Come on. There we go. All right, 24. 24. 24, achieved. Okay, so really, to put the electrical connector in first, because sometimes when you go to do this and push the connector on, this pulls back through into the valve cover. You got to take all that shit back off. So word to the wise, plug the injector in before you assemble everything. All right, that leaves that for that. Everything is in. Can't do anything else besides put the oil log back on. Just wiping down the gasket area. Make sure there's no liquid oil. That, I like it, I like it. All right, we're gonna try to put this in very carefully and level, and try to not make a mess. 3, 2, 1. We're going. All right, before I push it all the way down, get the line on, snap it in, and then I'm gonna seat this back down. Don't have that side pushed in. There we go. All right, back on top. We get all these oily bolts. Start all these. Sometimes you gotta wiggle the log around.
There we go.
Okay, they're all in. Take our 8 milli and cinch down this oil log. Okay, oil log is in. Now it's time for the valve cover. Reusable gasket, cleaned. Reusable valve cover, cleaned. Get behind them lines. Come on, linies. There we go. Oh yeah, baby. I am Batman. All right, make sure you put all these in the right positions because they're supposed to be studs and bolts. We're gonna do this guy a solid and put this stuff back how it's freaking supposed to be. Because somebody is doing my man not good. I'll get this one in. We got a stud right here. Supposed to be. Actually, you know what? I think they moved that for the coolant line. Now that I'm thinking about that, maybe I will put this back here. Because they had it kind of crazy concocted. This one bolt back here. That was that quarter drive 12 milli. Alright, we have bolts down here in the outboard side. Where's the hole? Right there. We gotta come down underneath. Man, what a pain in the booty. Very uncomfortable. Always has been. Always will. Since I'm here, I'm just trying to go as far as I can right now. So I'm not back and forth. Okay. So next one, we need another studly do-right. Oh boy, that's a stretch, and that, I think, went in the hole. I think, yeah, that rubber gasket's really fighting me. Okay, so now I have a studly up here, a bolt, and then I'm gonna have a stud and a stud, dipstick tube, and then the bracket for the glow plug module. But I need to do these ones down here first because I am not going to be able to get it with the stud because it's going to hurt my wrist. The stud's going to cut my wrist. Okay, yeah, getting this back one. Man, I do not miss this. Especially this rear AC. I can't even get in there to swing. I'm gonna have to go farther in. Farther in, folks. There we go, and I got some good swinging. I got some good swinging. Come on. These bottom ones suck. Usually I would take this trans dipstick tube like out of my way. This AC line is different on the older trucks. The newer ones, they had a different AC line, and the dipstick tube just sat splendidly behind that. So this back corner bolt, you know, you take it out with your hand and you can't loosen it because you're fighting the gasket. You can't turn the bolt to tighten it because it's so freaking loose now that you gotta hold it so that you're ratcheting right. You know, just what, you son of a bitch. Almost. Feeling it get tighter. All right, now we're at the rubber. I'm compressing it. Okay, definitely tighter than what them sons of bitches were before. I'm back at you. Diesel Tech rounds combo. Yeah, babe. Here we go. 12 millis.
Yeah, babe.
And we have these two down here. One for the dipstick tube and one last bolt for that lovely bracket. I'll get this 12 right here. I'll get this 12 back here because I can't get it without a stud. Come on, baby. Okay, that's tight. Now that last goofy one that we had to use, the 12 mil, I see the bolt head. Let's see if I can just do this and not have to jump up here. There we go. But the socket came off the ratchet. God, can I save it? Nope. Oh, come on. Just, man, I can't believe how much room that takes away when you got these stupid freaking lines back here. She's tight. Line moved. Okay, okay. Whew. Now we're just going to be reversing the removal process. I don't really have a certain order. I'm just going to start going back how we went. I need quarter drive. I need to tighten this right here because this actually came out. Remember when we took the bracket or the dipstick tube off? This bolt must have not been real tight. So we're gonna achieve that tightness. These are my second favorite engines, but man, these 6.7s, they are my absolute favorite. I love them. Okay, it's still in the transmission. Didn't pull it out, didn't affect the O-ring. Please, gentlemen, make sure you're putting the right nut back. And don't drop it. Found it. Search and rescue accomplished. Nut installation. I think I got it. Yep. Oh my goodness. Let's try this again. I had to clean up the stud. Much gooder. That is how that frickin' thing is supposed to go on. But give me back my socket. I guess we can put this thing back on. Bracket for the glow plugs. It's got to go on the studs that you took off. All right, well, I guess I did need to take that one off the last time. You know what I'll do is I will take this one because this is the one that somebody's taken off, and we'll just do that. Tighten that down. Now I'll put the bracket on. We got 3 10s. We got one here. We have one here. All right. And then we have one way down here. Okay, that's on. Let's do a 10 mil here. Can't see. Okay, tight. 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 Now we're going to put this harness back down under here, and that connects to that stud. And then we have our glow plug connector right here. These two guys need to connect. Hear the snap? Of course not. Come on. Did I get it? Nope. Did I get it? I think so. Okay, I'm gonna put that tether down on that. Injector's almost done. What am I gonna do? I guess let's put this coolant crap back on. Let's do this. Get my clamp. That's supposed to go all the way. Give it a little 1-2 tighten. Okay. I will put this back down. We have a 10. Glow plugs are now connected. Oh, I zip tied that, so I need to get my cutters. Got them. cutting. Now I'm going to take this very carefully, put that back on. Let's get this injector harness back underneath. It's kind of hot. See, that's why that stud's not there, is because he's got this coolant contraption on here. Let's go ahead and tighten this down. Try to keep these clamps all orientated the correct way. I like it. All right, next thing is this very crucial fuel calculating sensor. This is the map sensor. And we have some tennies. A mil. Okay. I'm going to take this guy and route that back here. This map hose goes back on here. Need some pliers. Pliers going down. We need to take this off. New O-ring, oil fill. There we go. I'm gripping the threads. I'm gripping the threads now. We got a good O-ring on there now, though, so go ahead and tighten this down. Yeah, okay. So really, what we have left, I guess, is that charge air cooler duct. It was a girthy one. I've never used the banks for the 6.0s. All right, here we are. Let's see if we can finagle this puppy back down in here. I know this AC line was not happy about it, but going back in it might be a little easier. Come on, come on, come on, baby, come on, baby. And these charger cooler clamps. Ah, this one clamp is holding me up. There we go. There we go. Tube in. Tube in. Tuba. Let's see if I can get it on the frickin' intercooler. Holy shit, this is rigid as you know what. Man, this is not cool. Almost. Ah, this cack duck cost me a good glove. Costed me a good glove, fellow chap. Okay, if I can loosen this up just a smidgy. Okay, that was a smidgy. If I can get this clamp and everything to push on, I think they're on. I think. Let me go just a little bit more on this clamp. Yeah, that's on. It ain't no joke, bro. This is a stout pipe. All right, this one, it's pretty much self-explanatory. I loosened both of them, thinking I was gonna have to slide it off, but oh, can't get this thing onto the turbo. Listen, these puppies a tiny bit more. I mean, I slid it off, but there we go. Okay, now we can tighten it. Oh yeah. But this tube ain't doing, it ain't going nowhere. Tighten this last one. Okay, there she is. The number 3 injector has been replaced. I have to fill it with oil, and I have to fill it with coolant. And then the last step, verifying the repair, and then you all and me, we're going for a road test. Everything is in and back together. Now, one of the things I want to do before I start the engine and actually give it power to start is I want to clear the cylinder without having anything foreign coming into the cylinder. I just want it to be an air pump. So I want you to go over here to the fender. I want you to disconnect this connector, squeeze those two little circular tabs. Yep, right there. Nope, the other 180 across. Yep, right there. Pull that apart. Okay, now this end in his hand goes right to the starter. Now you're going to use this stud, and we're going to gently hit it, and we're going to hit the engine. Okay, that sounded good. All right, we're going to do it another. Okay, I like it. I like it. Do it again. All right, do it a little longer. Okay. Man, you guys heard what it sounded like before. This sounds considerably better just cranking. All right. Okay, let's do it for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that built some good high pressure oil. So remember, we took that log off and we just introduced a whole bunch of air into the oil system, which then in turn gets into the high pressure oil system, which we have to get out. So I could either crank the engine and let the starter do it and me inside the truck, or we could hydraulically build the oil pressure, get that system filled. Then when we go to turn the key on and we introduce fuel into the mixture, now because the injector's got two parts, we have an oil part down below and we have a fuel part up top. If we didn't have any hydraulic fill here in the oil side of the injector, the top part of the injector is just going to slam in the internals of the injector because there's nothing actuating the taking up the squish of combustion of the internal part of the injector squirting fuel into the cylinder. So we're going to try this and see how long it cranks when I get into the truck and use the key. So let's build a little more pressure. Let's do another 3 second. Okay, do one more, then I want you to connect that, and then I'm going to go put the computer in the truck. And we're going to see how this cranks over. This sounds way better than it did. I will definitely tell you that. Let's get IDS. Let me go on this side of the hoist. Let's get inside. We're probably going to be blowing some smoke because of what was in the cylinders, what was in cylinder number 3. So, shall we? Doesn't sound like it's locking up. Okay, we do have some smoke coming out the tailpipe, just a little bit. But look at our graph. Look at that. Now, let's go and back us out. Let's get this out of the stall, and we're gonna back this up until we get the ass outside, and then we're gonna give it some beans. All right, exhausting. Look at all that unburned fuel in the exhaust. Wow, this thing sounds so much better. Oh my God, sounds so much better. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Way better. Running 6.0 Excursion. Tell me what you guys think about this in the comment section. If you guys have an '03 Excursion, or an Excursion for that matter, I love them. I wish they'd bring them back. I would definitely get one if it had the 6.7 in it. We got a little bit of smoke and a road test. I appreciate you guys for watching. Remember to like, comment, sub, share, and I will catch you all next time on a Banks Infused 6.0 Power Stroke Diesel, or 6.7 because they're my favorite.